Hi Starting Out Solitary, it's Pandora. I'm back here with you for your Friday on Starting Out Solitary. Once again, I'm subbing in for Rose, who's away. And this week we're talking about bragging about your abilities. So I don't brag about my abilities, and that's mostly because I don't consider myself to have special abilities that other human beings do not have. I sort of think of myself as not really any more magical or spiritual than any other human being. I just have the certain lens and perspective on the world where I choose to express those parts of myself and to focus on them and put my attention into them, if that makes sense. So for example, I don't consider myself to be especially psychic. However, I have meditated and done energy work and worked on my intuitive abilities. And when I do spellcraft, I don't consider myself to be doing anything that's outside of the abilities of any other normal human being. I'm just choosing to do that for no other reason than to just get my mind in the right place and to sort of energetically align myself with what it is that I'm trying to attract, and to, you know, become an energetic match for my needs and desires, if that makes sense. So I don't see a whole lot of people bragging about their abilities in the community that I'm a part of, but what I do see is people that brag about the energy and effort that they put towards their path and their spiritual practice. And I absolutely think that that is a good thing, and I don't think that we should be tearing people down for that or denigrating that. I actually think that it's a really positive thing. And even when you see people that sort of share their altar setups or things that they've purchased, in a way that's, you know, financial issues aside, that is something that they have put value on, and it shows that they're valuing their spiritual path and their spiritual selves. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you could have criticisms that we're sort of living in an Instagram culture that's kind of valuing style over substance and that kind of thing, and those would be absolutely valid criticisms. I think what I'm trying to say is that I don't think it's right to tear down individual people for that, but it's okay to talk about that in a general sense. And I mean, I do think that if you focus more on your Instagram feed than your actual practice, then that is quite a superficial thing. And but I mean that you can also go too far to the other side, where we have this tall poppy syndrome, where if someone sort of does something great, then we want to tear them down. And I think that that's a bit of bullshit myself. And yeah, I think that this might sound terrible, but in this day and age, I've really just got the utmost respect for anyone that's still getting up in the morning and doing their best and not giving up. I just think that anyone that's trying, we should be positive about that. And for me, trying to tear people down and is kind of like trying to find the negatives in the positive, and I don't agree with that whole perspective. And another thing that I wanted to say in this video ties back to what I said in my justice video, which I'll link to below. And I recently saw a meme which was shared by a person with the Instagram handle Rise Up Good Witch, and it said, maybe you manifested it, maybe it's white privilege. And I was in the New Age book section at Big W, which I need to stay away from, but anyway, I was there, and I looked at the back of a pack of Doreen Virtue Oracle cards, and it was the Angels of Abundance Oracle cards, and it said something along the lines of, everybody has an equal opportunity to manifest the world's abundance. And I was kind of like, okay, except that that's not true at all. If you open your eyes and look around, we don't live in a vacuum. We live in, you know, interlocking systems, and not everybody does have the same opportunities to manifest or attract abundance or anything else for that matter towards them. And I think that we have to be real about that as well, and that's really the only thing that I would have a problem with, would be somebody bragging about something that they manifested, which is actually a sign of their privilege. And you know, some people can afford to go to workshops and retreats and things like that, and or, you know, get mentoring or whatnot, or tutoring in the craft, and that's fine. I'm absolutely not saying that that's a bad thing at all, but I just think that we should be aware that that's something that's not available to everybody, and it shouldn't be a prerequisite for inclusion in our community. So that's all I've got to say. Thank you very much for watching. and have a great weekend. Happy Friday, and we'll see you here next week on Starting Out Solitary. Bye!